Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And this is Friday Night Not So Live. Generally, it's Friday Night Live, but there are occasions when I cannot be live due to a schedule conflict, such as tonight and the last 2 Fridays. So I have prepared a video for you, and Crash, say hello. Crash is helping me out here. Tonight I have a cute little treat project for you featuring the Heart and Hugs bundle, which is so adorable, and you've already seen me create a few things from this. I have a little question to ask you a little bit later, but let's see how this is done for right now. Let's begin by stamping our animal first. Now, tell me in the comments, is this a hamster or a gerbil? I don't know the difference. I know it's not a guinea pig because guinea pigs are longer and they're furrier, I think, or hairier. It's more hair than a fur, I think. But I don't know the difference between a hamster and a gerbil. I feel like hamsters are more represented when things are drawn than gerbils, but that's just a feeling. So let me know what the difference is. Maybe we can put an end to this. I'm going to bring whatever this is in and stamp it with my Memento Black ink on a piece of basic white scrap. I'm going to let that set up for just a second by cleaning my stamp. I've already got this wet with my Stampin' Mist. We'll put him away. Another thing that we'll be using are these little hearts. I've gone ahead and gotten out my Summer Splash, Peach Pie, and Petunia Pop. Now, if you only have a limited number of colors, obviously you don't have to do 3 colors. But I happen to have them, so I thought I would. I will be punching this out with my 2 3/8 inch hole punch, which is just a really great standard punch to have. And let's go ahead and bring in a piece of scrap paper. This, by the way, is all set to color, but I've switched on to something right now, so I might as well just finish this. I'm going to put in some hearts, and you can tell I'm kind of going off the paper, not sticking to just straight in it. My little hamster or gerbil is going to go right over the center there, so I don't have to worry too much about right in the middle. That's good, I guess. It's just a little bit of a background, so I don't have to go too crazy. And then this Summer Splash is a greenish blue. It's a lighter version of Coastal Cabana. All right. I'm just going to put a little bit more right here off the edge. Okay, maybe another one too. Okay, just to balance it a little bit. All right, let's go set this guy aside, and we will come back in and color our hamster slash gerbil. All right, have you answered me yet? I'm going to be looking at these comments. I'm going to be expecting an answer. Who's going to come through for me? All right, I'm going to bring in, I think I want him to be some sort of brown. So I've got crumb cake and pecan pie. I'm going to go with the pecan pie. I already do have a sample of him done up in crumb cake, but let's see how this looks. So I have light and dark, and you can always tell because the writing is on the side there. I'm going to bring in my light pecan pie and just color him all over, including his hands and feet. Now, I'm pretty sure his hands and feet are a different color than his body, because these are probably in the same category that mice are, you know, rodents. And I once had some pet wild mice. We called them Mr. and Mrs. Mouse. I know, not very unique naming, but my dad had caught them and put them in a cage, and we had some fun watching them for a while. And their hands and feet were hairless, so it shouldn't be the same color as this guy's fur. But if you're limited on the number of blends that you have, then, you know, you're limited. So go ahead and use what you've got. I will lighten it up. Now this is the Pecan Pie Light. So in order to lighten it up, I need a color lifter. This should be in everybody's toolkit that has blends, because it will help erase mistakes, or at least make them much less noticeable. And you can get more colors out of your blends because you can lighten them. I'm going to give that a second to work, and I'll come back and show you that it does lighten it. Here's my Pretty in Pink. I'm going to just add little pink insides of ears and a pink little nose because it's cute. And I bet that if I do this, I can add just a little bit of rosy color to his cheeks. All right, so can you see that his hands and feet are lighter now? That's what the color lifter does. I'm going to take my dark Pecan Pie, and I'm going to outline him. And this is going to not look so great right now, but we are going to blend this together, the light and the dark. You can do that because these are alcohol-based markers. Can't do it with the Stampin' Write markers. That will leave lines. Now I know that it looks like this is leaving lines as well, but it's not going to once we get done blending. To blend, I'll bring back my Pecan Pie, and I'm going to use the bullet tip end this time. And I'm just going in a circular motion over next to it where that border is and blending away. And I can blend into, and I know I just colored up his cheek, but I just want a little bit of a hint there. I'm pretty sure they don't get rosy cheeks, but he looks cute that way. So as I'm blending and coloring here, I'm softening that edge. And the trick to getting a really soft edge, if you want a really soft edge, is just to keep blending. And I'm going to leave a little bit of a lighter space in here. Maybe not that light. Maybe just color a little bit more. There we go. So just the high point where the light might be hitting him a little bit more. All right. And if you wanted to make this look a little bit more fur-like, you could have just kind of, instead of rubbing so much, you could just do a bunch of dots, even little dashes, and that puts some texture in his fur. So there's our little guy. Isn't he cute? So now it's time to do some die cutting. I'm going to bring in coordinating dies. And here's my hamster. By the way, there are some hearts that kind of double as flower tops, or like tulips, but they're hearts that you could punch out and put on as well. But there's really not enough of this circle here for me to do that, so I'm not going to. Now, because I want to maximize my productivity, I am going to die cut a couple things at the same time. So let's find how this guy goes in here, get him lined up as best we can. Put him down with a little bit of washi tape. Let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're die cutting, so we need plates 1 and 2. I think this one's flatter. 3 and 4. I mean, not 4, 2 3s. All right, I think I've got this guy a little bit off. I'm gonna do it again. I am shooting this in the morning, and my eyes are not so great in the morning sometimes, especially during allergy season. Can anybody relate? I do have a voice. It's definitely deeper than it normally is because it's morning, but all right, we're gonna call this good enough. So that's gonna go through. I'm gonna take this piece of Petunia Pop, which is another one of our in colors. We used it stamping, and this die is going to be from the Countryside Corners dies, and it's the 3rd largest. The idea from this project came from a little treat that I was given for participating in a card swap. We are not really done yet with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We've done the cutting, but I do have some embossing that I'm going to do here. Let's take this piece off. There's our little hamster. He's so cute. So cute. Now, this little piece right here, I want to do something else with. I want to emboss it. So we've done the cutting. Now it's time to do the embossing. I'm going to bring in the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. So some of my favorite embossing folders have retired. I need to start getting a few more, I think. There are a few in the catalog that I have my eye on. So my number 1 plate, my 3D embossing folder with the cardstock in it, and then I need just one more plate, the number 4 plate. See, you can see it's got a 4 up there. And we're going to run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And here we go. So if you're die cutting and embossing, you probably want to try to die cut first, as we did here, because otherwise when you run it through again, if you had embossed first, it would lessen the impact of the embossing. I'm going to just bring in a hole punch. Now some dies, not this set, but some dies do have a tag topper piece, but any hole punch will do here. This is just one from a store. It's not great, but it's going to get the job done. I've got a couple pieces of in color ribbon. I've got the Summer Splash and the Petunia Pop. I'm gonna go ahead and thread that through there. I'm not gonna tie it. I'm just gonna fan this, and these ends are yucky, so let's go ahead and trim the ends. Give them a little bit more of a polished look. All right. Bring in some linen thread. You can see I have a lot. Only one spool comes in a package, but I collect a lot because I use it a lot. And I'm gonna wait on that particular thing. All right, we're almost ready to do everything we need to do. Let's get some candy in here. So I've got some dark Hershey Kisses left over from my spring retreat last month. I'm not a dark chocolate fan, so these have lasted quite a bit of time, although somebody in my family doesn't seem to mind them, because I have noticed that the height in the bowl has come down. Let's just be extra generous and put a few more in there. And this just is a plastic bag you can get anywhere. And I have a tiny little elastic I can tie this with. Makes it easier for people to get in. If you don't want to use a tiny elastic, you can use a piece of the linen thread. I do think it's helpful to have something that's going to keep it closed and keep the things inside a little bit fresher. Come on. Can't get my thumb in there. There we go. I'm struggling with an elastic this morning. All right, there we go. So there we've got our little package of yummies. I'm gonna take my little furry friend here and put some dimensionals on the back of him. Mount him right here on top of all the hearts. Okay, and then we can mount him right here on this tag. It's probably less work if you put the circle on the tag first and then put the little guy on. You can make sure things a little bit more centered, but I guess I did a good job. And now I can tie this guy around here. So that people can get in pretty easily. I'm just going to double this up. And I learned at my retreat that some of you like to cut the ribbon first instead of afterwards. I usually do it afterwards, but I'll go ahead. We have two lengths the same now. I'm going to wrap this around both pieces and tie in a bow. So the ribbon just gives some extra fun and whimsy to this little tag. There we go. Cut these ends since they're not very even. And here we have just a fun little treat. See, you can see both colors of the ribbon. You can see the twine. And there's the treat on the back. And that is our sweet little project. Thank you so much again for joining me, especially during a Friday night not so live. I do appreciate whether you're watching live or watching the replay. At the start of this video, I did say I have a question for you. Earlier today, I sent an email to my customer list, and if you're not on my email list, you can certainly subscribe and you will be in the know in the future. But I posed a question: what should be featured in my June 15th stamp camp? I'm really having a hard time deciding. So I thought I'd just put it out there to my email list and you would decide for me. So if you got that email, go ahead and look for it and cast your vote. So there are 4 options, and these are in no particular order. The first option is the Heart and Hugs bundle that we used this evening. Really, really cute, lots of fun. I've already created several projects with it. The next option is the Hot Air Balloons bundle. Now I'm calling it a bundle, but it's not really bundled together with a price savings because it's a carryover from a previous catalog. But we will be using the stamps and the dies, so I'm going to still call it a bundle. The next option is the Adventurous Sky bundle, which features an airplane motif. Lots of fun, and I've seen lots of great projects already made with this. And then the fourth option is the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. Stamp set and dies, it's a floral theme, and it coordinates with the Thoughtful Journey 6x6 Designer Series paper that is just oh so gorgeous. Now, no matter what you choose, Stamp Camp is going to be lots of fun. We're going to create 6 projects, and ranging from cards to maybe a box and a treat holder. You never quite know when you get to a Stamp Camp. But here's the thing, even if you can't make Stamp Camp on June 15th, I'm going to have a virtual option. You'll know in advance which bundle that I'll be using so that you can place an order for it if you'd like to stamp along and just can't make it to the class. But it's going to be either in person or virtual. You'll have the choice. Obviously, if it's virtual, you'll be able to complete it at your leisure. It doesn't have to be done on the 15th, but it would be made available to you then. I hope you'll weigh in if you're on my email list, and if you're not on my email list, check out the description of this video below and sign up for it. I would really appreciate that. There's no cost. You can unsubscribe at any time, but it will help you stay in the loop with my classes and events and specials and all that good stuff. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. I know I will.